I really want to I ran a D&D dude, I put emo virus. I ran a D&D session for Jaiden like forever ago when she was doing her subathon, and she put out a video, and I've been holding off watching it so that I can react to it on stream, and then we will do lore. I'm sorry that I just did karaoke for an hour and it probably wasn't even that good. Thank you so much for the gifted. Zglib, thank you for the resub. It's vibe dependent. My skills are vibe dependent. All right, here we go. I really want to react to this. Guys, we're going to do a big reaction, okay? This is a big reaction stream.
Dungeons and Dragons is like a board game without the board, and you...
I'm actually really excited. Okay. When Jaiden messaged me that she was gonna make a video about this, it was like I've never been like more fucking proud as a DM or happy about something, because I was like, oh my god, I was so nervous about making it her first, you know, like a really fun experience for the first time she played, and the fact that she was like, that was so fun, I'm gonna animate it, I was like, ah, yes. So I hope I've gateway drugged her, but we'll see based on her recollection of events, because from my standpoint, that was the most unhinged, genuinely psychotic game of D&D I've ever run in my life.
You play using your imagination. If you think of something, it can just happen in game. D&D is very popular. Almost everyone I've ever met absolutely loves it, and I have never played it before, even though I always thought I would.
Hang on, I'm gonna move it over here. There we go.
Really like it. People would tell me stories of their games, like, so this one time me and my party were entering a cave and there was a big ogre guarding some treasure, but I used my charisma stat to seduce him and we ended up eloping together. Dude, if you don't think that
won't
sounds
happen.
Crazy fun, then I don't think we would get along, and you should probably unsubscribe. But if you do think that sounds fun, then hey.
No, that kind of sounds kind of like nerd shit. I'm not logged in. All right.
Sorry, I've never done that before. It felt weird. I decided to reach out to Charlie, aka Slimecicle,
hey!
aka Charlie Slimecicle,
that's
because
me!
he's super into D&D, and we ended up forming a little group of me,
oh, that's so
Alpharad,
cool.
Ranboo
That's
as
so
players,
cool.
and Charlie is the dungeon master, which is like the game organizer slash manager slash god. We all created our characters, and into the world we were teleported. The clouds part over a vast,
so
lush
excited.
forest. In it, a giant ancient oak tree can be found looming over all the other trees. The inside has been hollowed out, and a sign hangs on the side reading,
this is
"Old
so
Oak
cool."
Inn." Inside, many creatures of various origins are relaxing, drinking, socializing, but one stands out. A cat, equipped with various instruments, sits at a table, leaning over their cup of milk and scanning
He looks
the
so
room.
fucking
They spot a
scuffed.
dragonborn drinking at the bar, alone, seemingly pondering life. From the other end of the bar, a man in a suit approaches the dragon and starts a casual conversation. Do you know Mark? No, I don't.
Yeah, so I just is it okay? I don't know how to react. I never react to stuff. I was just really excited that this was coming out. Fucking Jacob in the call was insane. Like everyone was like, I was like, okay, everyone get ready for D&D. I had my lights on red and like a cloak on, and Jacob just like had like, bright lights, was like in a suit and just like had an axe, but was like but also I didn't know if it was like he was playing his character or if that was just him. His energy was actually fucking incredible. It was so indecipherable. I loved it.
Who are you? I'm Paul. I'm an assistant manager at Ye Old Mart of Wall. 43 years old. My wife passed away during childbirth. My parents died. And my only child, Paul Jr., ran away at age 6.
Good backstory.
I'm living a deadbeat life, not even able to go up in the corporate ladder because my manager, Mark, prevents me from doing so. So here I am, drinking away my woes.
Keep these things in mind. They will matter later.
I'm Suit. Hi, excuse me. Are you two new around here? Born and raised. I wish I was. Okay, so I've been stuck in a time loop for what I believe to be the past 3 years. I've relived the same day over and over. I suspect my neighbor Thomas somehow trapped me here, but I don't know how to escape. I can prove it. Look,
I forgot he was fucking
in about
crazy.
5 seconds, there's a 70% chance a waiter is gonna trip and drop their glasses onto the ground. Well, all right.
That's awesome.
But, like, it's gonna take a bit more convincing because that wasn't all that. Suddenly, a sheep crashes through the tavern windows and starts rampaging around the inn. It's going straight up crazy, knocking over tables, knocking over people.
Okay, so I gotta explain this. So I only found out that I was going to be running this session for Jaiden fucking like 2 days before we kind of streamed this. Like I didn't have a ton of time to prep something. So I looked up, I was like, fun D&D one-shots, like to play for people. And there was one I found that was really good. That, because I couldn't think of a hook. I was like, how do I get everyone invested? And it was, I forget what it's called. Maybe a wolf in sheep's clothing or something. But the idea is basically that it's a polymorphed sheep that like shows up to your party on the trail or whatever with a scroll, and then you speak to the sheep. But the idea is like there's a thing to focus on. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use the sheep, and that's it. And like the scroll and the fact that it's a person. So like, yeah, wild sheep chase. Yeah. So if you recognize just a sheep showing up, but I everything else is wild. But I want to say that big credit to wild sheep chase for the hook of that. My face cam is a bit big. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that one's really fun. I read through it. I honestly thought about running a module for them, but then I was like, no, they gave me some juicy shit to work with here. So I want to do that. All right, here we go.
Paul mentions it's got something in its mouth, and the sheep immediately stops and runs straight up to him. As Paul takes what seems to be a scroll out of the sheep's mouth, Zoot whips out their mace in an attempt to pepper spray the sheep, but slips on a puddle of rum and accidentally sprays Paul, who just...
I forgot we did the equipment. We were in the call with Jaiden, and I was doing her character creation, and I was like, now you get to pick a weapon. She was like, slingshot, axe... Oh, mace! That's great. And I don't think until the session she realized like a morning star. I don't think I forget if we had a conversation about it. It was like what, but I think she asked me. She's like, "Can it just like fucking be pepper spray?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, that's awesome."
Is disappointed.
So glad she thought of that.
3 open the scroll, and Zoot, recognizing it's a speak with animals spell, translates it, casting a huge shockwave and blasting everything in its radius. Hello. Can you understand me now? Why the did you try to spray me with mace? Zoot and the sheep start bickering as Paul and Tholomew just...
I want to say, by the way, Jaiden's character idea of having that like tongue tattoo. She was like a warlock that had like a tongue tattoo that she casted through. I thought that was so fucking cool. It was like so... I'd never seen anything like that. It was super unique.
Just forget it. I'm no ordinary sheep. I used to be human and was cursed into a sheep's body. My name is Luop, and I need your help becoming human again. Please. All right, Lop. Well, it's Luop. Come on, guys, let's go.
Thought they'd figure it out right away.
They all went along with it, still not understanding what the hell is going on. Maybe, they both thought, they could find their arch enemies, Mark and Thompson.
It is a goofy name. You'll see why. You'll see why.
Tholomew is very on edge, feeling like something isn't quite right. The tree line is shifting in unnatural ways. Oak trees are turning into birch. The bushes are rustling. Zoot spots various random animals along the path and picks up a turtle, which they add to their inventory. Paul tries to pocket a turtle of his own, but it turns out to be a rock, and is then mauled by a cougar. He ends up unharmed, though his adventure suit he changed into is now ruined. Zoot feels bad about Paul not getting a turtle, so they offer to let Paul name theirs, to which he chooses Paul.
I was like rolling for the encounters on the animal table. I remember fucking Jacob's face dropping when I just did a cougar maul. This fucking group was so funny.
Well, Junior. They eventually reach a clearing with a large stone outcrop covered in engraved shifting runes. Carved into a stone is a large bronze door with a face on it. Hello. You should try to impress it. Oh, okay.
Answer me these riddles 3, and then you can come in. I'm a riddle door.
Okay, all right.
The alphabet goes from A to Z, but I go from Z to A. What am I?
The alphabet backwards.
Oh my
Answer one zebra. Who's next? I move.
Holy shit. Okay, so holy fuck. I didn't expect them to just get absolutely fucked by this. But The idea is because like the whole thing was the sheep had been turned from a man, so it's like, okay, the whole theme of this dungeon and area is like this radiating kind of like wild transfiguration magic, right? So all the puzzles have to do with sort of like shape and form and stuff like that. Even so that's why like everything's a bit odd and things are shifting. But God, this was so fucking fun.
Between silken strings, I mean that you may find my substance.
I'm gonna say a spider, because I got the butt strings.
Correct! You may pass.
Wait, but can you turn our friend back?
Oh yeah, double or nothing. Answer this next.
God, she did so fucking good with it. This door is like funnier than I was. Oh my God, it's so much fucking fun. If you guys are ever running D&D puzzles, I had the door every time they had an answer. I was like, "Are you sure that's your final answer?" And would like make a face at them. Yeah, sorry, I'm just like reacting and giggling because seeing this stuff is so fucking. This is so good. Thank you, Fizzy Cherry. Turn on captions? Yeah, sure. I didn't actually expect them to fail this, so I didn't right away for him to turn back from a zebra. So if Ranboo didn't say anything, I think he would have just been a zebra forever. I didn't really think that they would fail. So I was like, double or nothing, and if you guys fail, I had no backup plan. My backup plan was that, you know, they'd turn into whatever, but I didn't know how the fuck it would continue. So I'm glad they didn't fail.
I creep and crawl with no eyes, legs, or ears, but I can move the earth. Peers, what am I?
With my peers, yeah.
Can you use it in a sentence?
In answer to the question,
Yeah, like spelling bee style.
nice try, but you're not gonna worm your way out of this.
Yes, you put that in!
I think I picked up on it. I don't know if you noticed, but he said worm on accident. I'm very detail oriented.
Listen to us, he's a zero.
Paul Jr., what do you think the answer is? Turtle. Turtle, finally, it's a worm! The adventurers walk through the door's mouth, which closes behind them. As they're walking
I forgot. They had Zoot had speak with animals, so I needed to come up with a fucking voice for all of the I think I said just that turtle. Turtle.
open room, they're greeted by a closed silver door. Zoot immediately pitches the turtle at the door, but nothing happens.
For the next 5 minutes, I assume, of this video, I think it's actually like, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, the most frustrated I've ever been at a D&D party in my life. Like the most truly bewildered and gobsmacked I've been at how to possibly segue them into my next room based on the puzzle I've made. And you'll see why.
There's 3 dishes of clay placed in front of 3 pedestals, and the door face emerges once again, this time on the ceiling.
In order to continue, create whatever you want.
Not wanting to deal with more riddles, Zoot throws a dagger into the door's eye.
Fine, I'm not helping you with this one.
The group, now lost with no direction, decides for some reason to all start eating the clay, even feeding some to Paul Jr. and Wop against their wills. After all the clay has been consumed, the pillars glow red and more clay drops down.
No, this lasted so much longer than that. I remember they ate all the clay and I didn't know what to do. I was like, it doesn't do anything. Like it hurts a little bit. And then I remember Ranboo was like, I start eating the gravel. I start like, what's the floor made out of? I start eating the gravel in the room. Just like it's gotta be some rock in here we need to eat. It was like an hour long. Oh my god.
Resetting the puzzle. Huh. Out of ideas, they decide to do what the door face suggested. Tholomew sculpts a crown, Zoot rolls out a worm, and Paul builds a penguin. They all place their creations on pedestals, which sink in and beam green before the lights turn out and Everything goes dark. They flash back on, and suddenly all their creations have come to life in weird clay flesh bodies. Paul cleaves at his penguin.
This one I was very fucking excited to do because I read all their backstories. So I assumed Paul was gonna make his son, and I was gonna be get to do some like fucked up like hug me, Papa thing with his son. But they all surprised me with like a crown and a worm, and I'm only now getting it's probably a crown because Ranboo has like, oh my god, I get it now.
Great axe, nearly cutting it clean in half, revealing that the inside is just more clay. The worm monster looks at Zoot and says, "It's wormin' time," causing Zoot to scream and sending a shockwave towards it, immediately exploding the worm and splattering clay everywhere, living as a normal-sized worm now. The worm lunges and wraps itself around Zoot's throat, trying to choke them out. Tholomew rips the arms off the crown monster and dodges its follow-up attack. The penguin reforms itself, sprints full speed at Paul, but slips and splats into a pile of clay on the ground, to which Paul finishes off with
that's
Meanwhile,
sick.
Tholomew attempts to rip the legs
These
off the
animations
ground,
are so good.
only for the crown legs to turn into arms, grabbing Tholomew and climbing onto their head, causing them to lose their mind. Viewing the other
so when they all, I was like, I had a default stat block for this nerd shit alert, tune out your brain, white noise. I had a stat block for all of these things. I was like, okay, here's a basic stat block for the clay thing. It was like a super basic. And then I was like, whatever they build, I'm going to add a thing. So for Ranboo's, I added Crown of Madness, like that it could cast Crown of Madness on him, because that makes sense. For the penguin, I actually think I gave it like Ray of Frost or something. And then for the worm, I think I gave it like the grapple. Like I gave it like a constrictor from like a constrictor snake stat block. So a lot of this stuff, I wrote in my notes, I was like, just fucking go with whatever they got.
other party members as enemies. Paul shifts his attention to Tholomew, throwing his great axe horizontally at the crown. Unfortunately, it goes a bit low and the handle smacks Tholomew directly in the face. Zoot gets a grip on the worm, ripping it off their throat, and breathes acid onto it until it's reduced to ash. Tholomew blows on their bagpipes to attack Paul, sending out a thunderous shockwave that shakes the cavern. Paul is able to hold his ground, runs up to the two, and successfully cleaves the crown off Tholomew's head. All the clay monsters have been defeated. The silver door opens, and everyone cheers together in celebration. The adventurers enter the new room to be greeted by wooden structures, spiral staircases, platforms, and a golden door at the very back wall. It looks like a camp is set up inside the area, and voices can be heard.
What's a D&D session without these guys?
Tholomew scans the area looking for traces of their neighbor, Thompson. Not only do they discover a pack of goblins that have inhabited the area, but he also recognizes a familiar boot print in the clay. It's the same type Thompson wears. He's been here. Paul climbs up to the goblin platform and sparks conversation. The goblins are confused and a bit wary of the intruders, but introduce themselves nonetheless.
I'm Gob, that's Glob, that's Gobble, that's Gobble Gob, and that's the Peeler.
And who's that?
I forgot about the Peeler.
That's Bloyle.
So your names are Gob, Glob, Gobble, Gobble Gob, Peeler, and Bloyle?
The Peeler.
Got it. So your name is the Peeler. You don't know anything about Mark or Thompson.
I only know about one thing, and that's peeling. Yeah. Great, there you go.
Oh, jeez. Okay, all right, we're leaving. Paul starts booking it to the door they came in through. The Peeler right on his tail, stabbing at his ankles. No one else is doing or saying anything. They're just watching. Paul makes it back to the previous room, and the Peeler slinks into the shadows. With Paul in the other room and Tholomew and Zoot unable to speak Goblin, Tholomew is left trying to communicate through improvised sign language, pointing at the door and blowing kisses at himself.
We actually did like 30 minutes of fucking actually just in call, like because they didn't speak Goblin.
Goblins to signal peace. Zoot tries to slip around the goblins in the meantime, as communication is clearly not working and the goblins are only getting more aggressive, but they bump into an invisible force they can't see, alerting the goblins who are now initiating
interesting.
combat. Zoot decides to keep running to the door as Tholomew bangs on their drums, sending sound shockwaves at the attacking looking goblins. Gob, Glob, and Gobble are all sent flying off the edge of the platform, falling to their deaths.
No!
Gob, in a fit of rage after losing his friends, lunges at Tholomew but misses completely, sending himself off the edge of the platform too. Healer emerges from the shadows to lunge at Tholomew, who is taking up Loyal, but Paul jumps in just in time, clashing blades.
Yeah, Paul!
As everyone is distracted, Zoot gets to the door, peeking in to see an entirely golden room with a small golden rod shaped like a tree branch floating at the center. The branch shifts between valuable materials, at one moment being made of gold, then emerald, and ruby. Gobble Gob, the goblin that accidentally dove off the side of the platform,
saying
sprints
nothing.
back
Gobble
up the
gob,
stairs
gobs,
and
gob,
attempts
gobble
to
gob.
tackle Tholomew off the platform, but accidentally leaps over him and plummets once again over the edge, this time to his demise.
This is an unbelievable amount of not ones. Unbelievable amount.
Ending the battle, but because of the uncoordinated attack, Paul's axe is now peeled. They all hurry over to Zoot
I
and
forgot
enter
about
the
that.
golden room together, trying to figure out how to get the artifact down. Zoot suggests they all toss Slop into the air to get it down, so Paul Solange Bowser's the sheep into the air, but in the complete opposite direction.
That animation was
Trying
crazy.
To figure out how
What?
to get the artifact down.
What?
Zoot suggests they all
What?
toss Slop into the air to get it down. So Paul
That is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, that poor
the
sheep.
into the air, but in the complete opposite direction.
Poor love.
Tholomew quickly runs
I was fucking laughing so hard inside this whole time while Paul is doing this shit, dude. You'll see why.
Makes his fall, and before Lop can say anything, they throw him again, this time hitting their target as they both fall to the ground. No one stops Lop's fall this time as he lays motionless on the floor. As Tholomew is healing up Lop, Zoot approaches the wand, only for it to be snatched by an invisible force. An unseen figure then reveals itself. Well, hey there, neighbor. Oh, and Paul, it's me, your good friend, Mark Thompson.
Yeah!
Tholomew, you ruined my life, spreading false rumors about me. You said I cursed you, and now no one wants to talk to me. My wife and kids left me, everyone avoids me, so I spent years becoming a dark wizard, and I'm gonna have my revenge. What about me? And you, Paul. Anyway, yeah, you all are gonna be spending the rest of your lives here in this shifted sanctum. I'll be going now. Tholomew quickly casts locate object on the wand Mark is
That was
now
so smart, by the way. Such a good play.
In the general direction, hoping to reveal where Mark is.
Such a smart play.
Unfortunately, it doesn't land. Zoot sprints in the direction Tholomew indicated and attempts to tackle the air. They make contact, but bounce off of Mark's rock-solid beer gut, breaking the invisibility spell. Tholomew whips out their drums, slamming it with the intent to cast a thunder wave on Mark, sending him flying from the
Fucking
impact.
Mark
Zoot
Thompson.
follows behind and shouts, "Depression!" casting a command spell on him. He stops in his tracks.
This was fucked.
Zoot and says, "I'm so sad." Having never dealt with depression before, he pulls out a picture of his ex-wife and kids and just stares at it.
Everything that's about to happen, I think, is my favorite part of this whole session, and genuinely the craziest fucking shit I've ever seen a D&D player do, man.
Longingly.
Yeah, this was where things took a turn, was when Jaiden used fucking power word depression on my bad guy.
Paul and Tholomew see their chance to attack
my
him
God.
and once again try to use an ultimate team attack. They grip Paul's peeled axe together and throw it in tandem at Mark. But once again, they mess up, and Tholomew is accidentally sent flying with the axe as it pierces Mark's chest. Mark is unfazed, still wallowing in his depression, but
the
Zoot
boss,
sees
man.
this as an opportunity, casting Disguise Self and visually turning themselves into Mark's ex-wife.
Here we go.
Ella, is that you?
Here we go.
It is! Mark. Mark drops the photo and wand.
She rolled so
sobbing,
good,
and
too. She
slowly
rolled
walks
so good.
towards Zoot, who has their arms out, ready for his embrace. He grabs Zoot and pulls them close, tears streaming down his face. It's been so hard. It's okay. I'm here now. Zoot pulls back just a bit, just to look into Mark's eyes, which are sparkling with tears, and proceeds to acid blast him point blank from the mouth.
Oh, she kept her fucking laughs.
Mark is heavily damaged but alive, snapping back
So
to reality
fucking funny,
and throwing
man.
Paul's axe to the ground. If I can't have the wand, no one can! Paul picks up one part of his peeled axe. Looks like the manager position just opened up. He throws the axe and hits Mark, but doesn't kill him. He then picks up the other peeled axe part to throw as well, but it boomerangs around and hits him in the back of the head. Bartholomew grabs the wand from the ground and points it at Mark. This is for everything. The low tax return, the restraining order, for moving in next to me. You're my personal hell! Mark turns to Paul while being zapped by the wand. Would you still let me be your manager, even if I was a...
Yes. Yes.
You're fired. You guys did it! Please,
Yeah!
use the wand to turn me back into a human. Please! Bartholomew casts the wand's powers onto Lop, finally turning him back into his original form.
Oh, that's sick.
Paul and now human Lop lock eyes. Hi, Dad. Paul Jr. Is that you? Oh, Paul and his long-lost son, Paul Jr. embrace. The wand, now all out of magic, crumbles into dust, and the party exits the cave. The bomb is dead. The explosions erupt behind them as the group walks off together. Thanks for watching this
Wow!
video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Especially big thanks to Charlie, Ranboo, and Jacob for the great D&D session. It was super fun, and I really want to play more. I'd like to upload highlights of the actual D&D session to my second channel.
Oh my god, let's do it! Let's do it! When's fucking session 2, guys? I'm ready. I'm ready. That was so fucking good. Oh my god. Holy shit. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can find my, I wonder if I can find my notes for this. I wonder if I can find my notes to see how much changed. My, like, I had like a whole page of notes. Hang on. Sorry, I know I'm late on the lore right now. So much shit was yeah, so much shit was fucking just I just made that shit up. But I was sitting on the whole Mark Thompson thing. If people give me an enemy in their backstory, I actually cannot, like, I can't not write them in. There's no way that I can just be like, oh yeah, that's cool. You're gonna be dealing with my guy though. You're gonna be dealing with fucking Orthox, the fucking leg eater. Like, no. Make Orthox the guy. Make Orthox the guy that your player doesn't like already. Just change it. It's so much better. Okay. Did I log in? Did I forget my login? This is the worst day of my life. 1 second. I'm seeing if I can pull it up. Yeah, Keith from Chuckle Sandwich is a great example of that. Second Chuckle Sandwich, he did one too. We had like a similar character. This is... Let's see. Where did I put this? I'll find it. Give me a sec. Let's see if I can find this. This is Chuckle Sandwich. This is... No, that's not right. Oh, I found it. I called it J Dungeons and Dragons, which is fun. All right. Let me see if there's any crazy shit here. You know what? I'll just pull it up. I'll just be honest. Let's just pull it up. 1 sec. I'm going to pull it up. The DM notes. Access denied. Okay, cool. 1 sec. All right, here we go. Okay. So, what the fuck did I write here? What the fuck did I actually say was going to happen? Okay. Old Oak Inn, so I knew that was going to be like a great oak tree. Sheep comes crashing through the window, scroll speak of animals, introduces itself as Luap. Okay. Looking for powerful adventures. Yeah, so the idea was the evil wizard that had turned it was, yeah, our boy, Mark Thompson. The Shifting Sanctum was what the place was called. I just wrote this. Luap will promise whatever makes the party tick. I think I changed Luap's personality. I said religious, bleats shit like bruh, Very brave and commanding, quick to get scared. Okay, Alistair Energy. This is a character from a campaign we did with Just Roll With It. Shifting Sanctum. Here we go. So that changed. That all changed. Yeah, this is like, whatever it takes to hook them, have it. I have that thing. Moving bark, animals of all shapes and sizes. Okay, so I think they spent more time in the forest, and I just like went to a site where I could like roll for random animals and came up with them. Sanctum personality will be prevent the party from going forth and trick them. Serves as a guide otherwise. I think I changed that because I realized that they were new players, so I think he was kind of more like... And they started attacking him, so it was more like a dude, like, I'm trying to help you, man. Then I have the riddles. Upon the wrong answer, it will shoot a fucking laser beam. DC 14 with save will be turned into the answer of the riddle. That was very fun. Last 15 minutes and then becomes permanent. Oh, okay, so I did have a way out. So if they didn't all solve it, if any of the other characters solved the riddle, the spell will end naturally. So they could have been a zebra forever. Upon answering correctly, door will open and let the party inside. Cool. Let's see. So I went, yeah, that was a bronze door and then a silver door. Then it was the clay. Clay will come alive and they have to beat it to pass. And I had stat blocks on another site. Did I actually just say goblins? Goblins use goblin stats. What is infinite frogs? Oh, I forgot infinite frogs was a thing that I had? Oh, yeah. So a whole thing that I wrote with this was, I have my notes in a bunch of different places, was the idea of why the goblins were here was because of this, like, because it was constantly morphing and things were changing and, like, organic life forms were creating. It was, like, a really good deal for the goblins because they effectively had, like, a skyblock infinite food source. So, like, because the wand's magic was, like, creating animals and, like, changing shit, they were, like, surviving off of that energy. I don't think infinite frogs ever came up. If caught, goblins will try and get them out. Oh, okay, yeah. Rely on the power of the wand, dungeon for infinite supply. There's traps in the room goblin doesn't know about. Pressure plates leading up to door. I think I got rid of this because the goblin fight went crazy. Goblins will attempt to do... Oh, yeah, I think the goblins were just trying to trick the players. So that didn't come up. Goblins see the sheep, attempt to cook it. Okay, so these things never came up. So, like, the goblins would be like, oh, to solve our puzzle, you must attempt a four-legged race, blindfolded. And then they'd all tie, like, they'd be like, they tie their legs together and put blindfolds on them, and then they just, like, throw them on a skewer once they were tied up. Let's see. The wand, true polymorph. Thompson will follow the party. There will be hints of things happening behind him. He will roll to succeed. Use the mage stat block, invisibility spell. He's rigging the place with explosives. So I have Thompson's stats. I think I made Mark Thompson the same guy halfway through the session. Channel a nice neighbor that's finally lost it. Just wants a peaceful life. Oh, yeah. So Tholomew was the unhinged one. Dude, Zoot's bird got cut out of the video, man. So did the devil. Which makes sense. Zoot had a bird in the session that at the end someone shot with the wand of polymorph and fucking it just like turned into like a man. It was kind of horrifying, so I get why she cut that. And then the devil was just like a cool thing where when Zoot got the wand, because she was they were a warlock, there was essentially a moment of just like, oh, do you want to save this sheep? Or, I'm the devil. Yeah, from the Bible. So I was like setting up, I don't really know. I just thought it would be cool to bring the patron in some way and to give, Zoot a choice, tempt with power a little bit. But they ended up keeping the wand, so it didn't really end up coming up that much. So yeah, those are pretty much all my notes for the session. I would run that shit again in a heartbeat for you guys. That was so fun. All right, cool.